Hi everybody, it's Nancy and I have some of the August 2025 club releases from Spellbinders. We're going to start off with the Glimmer of the Month, which I already have, probably overheated, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, the Glimmer of the Month is this fun bubble background. And the foil is Speckled Prism, using my new purple lavender tool there. I'm going to pull that out of there and set that aside. Okay. It also comes with a couple of sentiments. Let me show you those. And the sentiments say, popping by to say hi, and the dies, and hope your day shimmers. So 2 fun sentiments and 2 dies to cut them out. And then that fun bubble background, which we may or may not use. And you guys know I cannot get enough of this paper. And look at how beautifully that foils. And that's that new Aqua Luxury paper. And that's that satin one. And it foiled beautifully. Okay, so that's the Glimmer of the Month. There's the foil that matches that. All right. Then we have the 3D embossing folder. And the 3D embossing folder is this fun fish underwater scene with these waves. And we're going to 3D emboss that. So let me grab my platinum again. Grab some paper for that. And for that, I'm just grabbing regular white paper. And I cut it down to 5.5 by 4.25. And our sandwich is the base plate, the embossing folder, and plate D. D is for 3D. And you may want to have a spritzer available depending on how thick your paper is. This paper is not super thick, but I am going to do, before we do this, is I'm just going to take some ink to it. I'm using the Simon Hurley Stellar ink because I haven't done this yet. This is in Clear Skies, I think it is. To color my background a little bit. I know I promised you guys a video comparing, but I have to find my old inks first. So we're just going to play with this ink. All right. And I'm just going to spritz this with a little bit of water. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit of ink smushing here. This is 4, which is, ooh, that might be a little bit too much green. Oh yeah, that's too much for this kind of paper. Well, we'll see how it looks. This kind of mottled look. All right, and I'm going to end up spritzing it again anyway. This is just plain paper. It's not watercolor paper or anything, but just lightly spritzing it. So it obviously reacts with water because you can see those water spots on there. All right, and now we're going to 3D emboss it. Actually, that green doesn't look too bad. It almost looks like the fish are coming out of hiding from, like, you know, algae or seaweed or something. so my little goof up doesn't look too terrible. Yeah, that actually isn't too bad. We're going to leave that alone. All right, we're going to set that aside to dry. I might come back and put some lunar paste over the top of that. So we're going to set that aside just so that it can dry off. That's the 3D embossing folder. Do have a little ink that's smushed out of there. I'm just going to clean that off a little bit. Okay, so that one's done. I did not get the wax seal of the month yet, so I'm still waiting for that to arrive. And we have the betterpress of the month, and the betterpress of the month has these fun little fish. It looks like it's a layering. If you wanted to layer the fish and then center your sentiment, you can do that. So it has a line down here, but it comes with these fun fish, like a little school of fish, and then it has 3 sentiments and then the 3 dies. And the sentiments say, even little fish make big waves, a little note from the whole group, and this one's upside down. Together is a good place to be. So you get 3 sentiments there. So let's do that. Now, there's no die to cut this out, but the dies do cut these out. But I think we can pretty easily fussy cut that out. So I have my betterpress here. I'm going to put my little fish here. And I'm going to turn the glimmer off and move that out of the way. I'm going to move this there. And just to have a little bit more fun with these inks, we're going to try, I haven't tried better pressing with these yet. So I'm going to start with yellow in the middle. That's a very bright yellow. Then I'm going to take Prom Queen and go to the top, kind of mixing them. I might take a brush and kind of smear that a little bit. And then I'm going to take the Clear Skies and go to the bottom here. So I'm getting a rainbow effect of colors here. Wipe off the side here. And just going to take a little blending brush and just kind of tap the center here so it's not so harsh where those inks meet. And let's see how these inks better press, because I haven't tried that yet. And where's my top? Top. Put it down. Where did I put it down? Oh my God, I know you guys are like screaming at me. Nancy, you put it over here. Where did I put it? Right under the platform, silly. Okay, so it's under the platform, and I need a piece of betterpress paper, which is behind me. Okay, so that is cut and ready to go. And I'm not going to worry about the sentiment right now. We'll come back and do the sentiment separate. Let's see how these inks work. Okay, run that through. So these are the August 2025 Spellbinders clubs that I get. Again, this is the Betterpress of the Month Club, 3D Embossing Folder of the Month Club, and Glimmer of the Month Club. There are so many other clubs. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So these inks Betterpress very nicely. Ooh, very, very nice. There's also, you know, Stamp of the Month, Stamp and Die of the Month. There is Wax Seal of the Month, which I normally get, but they sent it late, I'm guessing, because I didn't get it yet. There's the whole kit and caboodle where you can get everything. So many fun things that you can get. I'm going to do this again. So we have 2 of these as our focal point on our card. I really love how vibrant those inks are and how nicely they blended. We're going to do that again. Let me grab it. Another piece of betterpress paper. I have to cut it in half. So very, very nice. Spellbinders has the other felt ink pads, the Simon Hurley felt ink pads. According to you guys, when Simon did his launch, he said it is the same. You can use the same re-inkers. So the difference is that these are spongier foam ink pads. That's the difference. So they put down a lot of ink. So just a light tap is all you need. But I really like how that came out. So we're going to do that again. So I'm just using the shooting star in the middle. And again, you don't need to put a lot, just a very light tap works. And these are dye ink pads, so they react with water. So that's why you saw when I spritzed the water on the background, it kind of left the water spots. And then clear skies at the bottom. And you can see how it blended and it made a nice orange and a green very easily. And then I just took a little brush and did a little tap, tap, tap here so that there's not such a harsh line. And then I used the same brush and I did a little tap, tap, tap here. All right. And let's roll that through again. And I plan on die cutting these out, so I'm not really worried about the ink getting on the background. I'm going to fussy cut around. I guess you could use a die cut circle as well. Okay. Ta-da! Very, very nice. And again, those colors were shooting star in the middle, prom queen at the top, and clear skies at the bottom. So you could use the other Simon Hurley felt ink pads, or these are the new Stellar inks, which Spellbinders isn't carrying yet, but I did ask them to. I sent a little note saying, hey, we really should think about getting these foam ink pads. I just prefer foam ink pads because they're still dye inks. They're the same ink. So Simon said you can use, if it's the same color, like Prom Queen re-inker will work in either ink pad. It's just a preference of what style ink pad do you like. Do you like a foam ink pad or do you like a felt ink pad? I prefer foam. Okay, so move that away. I also, we'll see here, I brought in, I don't know if I'm going to need them or not, but I brought in Simon's Under the Sea stamp set and dies. Oops. I don't know if I'm going to need them because I have my two focal images in my background, so I may not need those. Okay, so we've got our backgrounds, focal images. All we need to do now is put everything onto a card and then decide what sentiments we want, right? I think we can manage this. And when you are a club member, you can sign up on the 1st. If you're not a club member, you have to wait until the 5th. The other advantage to being a club member is you don't have to worry about it selling out because a lot of times if they're really cool, they do sell out, unfortunately. And when they have new releases of something and you're a club member, you get a little bit of a discount and you get sometimes an early release to something before it can sell out. So that's the advantages to being a club member as well. You get a couple of extra perks when you're a club member. So just keep that in mind. If you've been sitting on the fence thinking about, do I want to join the club? There are some advantages to being a club member. And like I said, this guy has a little layering guide if you want to line up your sentiments. If you're like me and you can never do anything straight. I can't park straight. I can't write straight. Like everything's always crooked. That has a little layering guide to help you make sure that that gets lined up straight. Okay. This is still a little not so Oh, ooh, you know what looked pretty on here? This, I'm going to put this on here. The Splatter Effects Sparkle. We're going to put that on there. And then I'm going to go dry it with the heat tool. And while I go dry that with the heat tool, I'll go fussy cut these. So I'm going to go pause the camera. I'll hold everything up so you guys can see it quick. So here is Glimmer of the Month Bubbles. And I did that on the aqua satin paper. That's at Spellbinders. Here is the betterpress of the month. Isn't that cool? So pretty. Okay. And then here is the 3D embossing folder. And you can see how that ink reacts. I think that green actually doesn't look too bad. At first I thought, oh no, I ruined it, but it actually came pretty good. Pretty good. And then this is the Splatter Effects Sparkle. And I'm just going to splatter this all over that. I used it on the house mouse cards to make it look like snow. Well, now I kind of want it to look like bubbles. All right, so I don't want a whole ton of it, just a little, maybe a little bit more. But it gives this nice sparkly effect. And I'm going to go take the heat tool to this. So can you see that sparkle? Okay, so I'm going to take the heat tool to this. I'm going to go dry this, and then I'm going to cut around our fish, and then we'll figure out what we want to do for sentiments. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have cut out the school of fish there. Then I took the 2 betterpress sentiments, stamped those out with the black ink, which was super juicy, but that's okay. And now I'm going to die cut them, and we will put our 2 cards together. So this one says, together is a good place to be. And this one says, even little fish make big waves. Okay. So now let's just assemble everything. So we're doing our glimmer bubble background first. And our little school of fish that have been better pressed. Remember, you can also glimmer these. Anything that is a better press plate, you can glimmer it. You cannot do the opposite. Well, you're not supposed to. You should not better press your glimmer plates. So that one's done. Pretty simple and easy for that one. Okay. And this one looks pretty good. And there are some really cute dies and stamps that are out there. I think there was like a mermaid set. So I don't subscribe to all of those, but certainly if you're interested in them, you can get the other club kits as well. A lot of glue on there because that paper had a little bit of warping, but should be okay. And I love that the wave background 3D embossing folder goes perfect with this sentiment. Even little fish make big waves. All right, so I'll just give you guys the final look here. And again, this is the Glimmer of the Month, Betterpress of the Month, and 3D Embossing Folder of the Month, Spellbinders Clubs for August 2025. If you are interested in any of them, I will have the link down below. Be really appreciative if you guys would use that. It is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small commission. And there is everything put together. And if you are interested in Simon Hurley's inks, I will put a link down below for that as well. There you go. If you had fun watching me put these cards together, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel by clicking down here. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.